Hey everyone, welcome back to Ragtag Stacking. In today's video, I want to talk a little bit about stacking gold, stacking silver, and stacking something that I haven't been stacking before. But before I do that, I just want to get into my last video. I had to delete it just because I didn't really notice how bad the audio was. It sounded like I was underwater. While I was editing it, it sounded okay, but then I had some comments when it was out, and I actually put the earphones on and listened to it, and it was embarrassingly bad. So unfortunately, I needed to erase that because it just didn't sound that great. So I apologize to you if you had to listen to that. It sounded quite bad. But anyways, getting into today's topic, like I said, obviously, if you've been watching this channel for any amount of time, you do know that I like stacking gold and silver, and obviously, you know that I live up in Canada. So, with that, there do come some, pretty brutal winters, and I already kind of and a little bit of a prepper by default. I always have extra gas for the generator. We have some pretty bad winters, like I said, so powers might go down. You might need to, have a generator to get any sort of power for sometimes weeks. There are some bad storms. It doesn't happen every year, but it does happen. So, I do kind of just always have some extra water, extra food, extra gas on hand. But one thing I do not have, and I am very, very strongly considering getting, I am going to get, I'm in the process of doing some of this stuff, is stacking some lead. Unfortunately, I do not have any right now. Now, I do not own any firearms. I have not fired a gun. I have not held a real gun. But things seem to be getting a little bit out of control, and the future seems more uncertain than ever. And like I previously said, up here in Canada, things have been going a little squirrely, let's just say that. So yeah, I finally thought, it's probably a good idea to get the ball rolling with all of those things compacting, stacked on top of each other. It does seem like something that I want to get going, because up here in Canada, it is a bit of a process to get your firearms license. So yes, up here in Canada, there are 3 classifications or categories for guns. And the first one is non-restricted, and that's most likely the one that I'm going to be going with. I'm not going to list all the ones. I'm not going to list all the guns that are in the non-restricted, because it's kind of easier to list the ones that are in the next category, which are the restricted guns. Now, with restricted guns, there is a process and a licensing that you can go through to get this, but it is a bit more extensive than the unrestricted guns. And some of the guns that are in the restricted category are most handguns, semi-automatic center fire rifles or shotguns with barrel lengths less than 18.5 inches or 470 millimeters, and also rifles or shotguns that can fire when their overall length is reduced by folding or telescoping to less than 660 millimeters or 26 inches. So yes, those are the first 2 categories, the restricted and non-restricted. And the third category is prohibited guns. So with prohibited guns, anyone that would like to purchase a prohibited gun right now cannot do so. But if you own a prohibited gun and you purchased it before it was banned, you are grandfathered in. You can still own that gun. You just need to register it. It's just different paperwork, but you can still have that gun. They're not going to take it away from you. You can still own a prohibited gun if you had it before it was banned. But anyone that would like to buy it now in 2022, any prohibited gun, you are not allowed to purchase it in Canada. And prohibited guns include handguns that have a barrel less than 105 millimeters in length, handguns that are designed to discharge 25 or 32 caliber cartridge, firearms that are adapted from a rifle shotgun, meaning that they've been sawed off, cut, or altered in any way, and automatic firearms. Now, I really don't know which one that I'm going to be going for. I think that I'm going to get a shotgun for sure. I'm not sure which type, which kind, but shotgun is definitely something that I would like to get. And maybe, because it did seem like it was more in the restricted side, I would like to get a handgun as well. And I don't think that I would need or want to get any more than that. I know for a lot of people it's a hobby where you see that they have, up to 100 or plus guns, in their possession. That's cool, you know what I mean? If you want to have that as your collection. But for me, I do not think that I would need more than 2 guns or a second rifle or a second handgun. Having 2 and having one of each, I think that is a good start, at least. And for people that have a lot more knowledge of this subject, just let me know in the comments what you think a good 2 weapons would be for starting off my firearms purchasing. So if you're looking to get the firearms, you need to take the Canadian Firearms Safety Course, the CFSC. And this is a test that costs $150 Canadian, not including taxes. And some of the topics in this course include the evolution of firearms, major parts, types, and actions, basic firearms, safety practice, ammunition, operating firearms. I put the screenshot up here, so I don't need to continue reading through all of them here. But yes, this is what is in the Canadian Firearms Safety Course. And this is the additional safety course you need to get your restricted firearms license. So I kind of see the purpose of having the 2 categories there, because you get to charge more. You know what I mean? You get to charge more for that specific license. And it seems like the guns in the restricted ones might be a bit more popular, or a lot of people would like to get. So for the more popular guns, or the guns that you think a lot of people would want, it might make sense to put it in that restricted category, because you can charge more to get that license for it. So that's all good. You can go ahead and pass that, the safety course there, and then you can go ahead and apply for the Possession and Acquisition License, the PAL, they call it up here. So to go ahead and get the PAL, you'll need to have proof of ID, and it says a minor's license can enable a 12 to 17-year-old to borrow a non-restricted rifle or shotgun for approved purposes, hunting or target shooting, for example. Applicants must take Canadian that safety exam. And it takes about 45 days, it says there. So, think about between a month and 2 months for this to get processed. So that's the process you need to go through in Canada to get your license for it. And the next step is purchasing your firearm. I've kind of been diving into this stuff over the couple of weeks, and there are a few shops that I have noticed, but there aren't too many. You really have to go digging, at least because I'm not part of the culture. I'm not part of the gun culture right now, so I don't really know where the gun shops are, where the firing ranges are. But that is something obviously that I will learn along the way. But yes, once you purchase your firearm, you're going to need to register it. And to register your gun, you can be done at most gun shops or online. When you register your gun, you'll be required to provide your firearms license number, other identification information. You'll also need to provide seller's name and ID, the date the firearm is sold, and the firearms reference table number provided by the seller. Yes, that's another step in the purchasing of firearms in Canada, is registering the gun. And then after that, I believe you are good to go. So that was just a quick little overview of the process of acquiring a firearm in Canada. And again, you will be spending a little bit more money and having to spend a little bit more time registering and, signing the papers for those restricted type guns if you're looking at a restricted gun. I don't have to worry about any of the prohibited ones because, like I said at the beginning there, I don't own any guns. I'm not in possession of any guns that are illegal in Canada or anything like that. So I don't need to worry about the prohibited because I'm not grandfathered in with any, and I can't purchase any right now anyways. So yes, that's kind of the system that we have here in Canada for the getting your license in the 3 categories of guns. I'm not too familiar with what it's like in the States, especially because down there that's it seems like it's state to state. They do have their own laws, but federally, especially after the tragedies that happened, the tragedy that happened down in Texas a few weeks ago. And the multiple mass shootings that have happened since then, a lot of people are taking this opportunity to talk about gun reform and new gun laws and this and that. So I'm not sure in the state you live in or down in the States if they do have the different categories of restricted, non-restricted, where you can still get both, and then prohibited. If they go in that manner, and they hopefully they will do it like Canada, if they don't already have this system in place and they're looking for new gun control laws, hopefully they will say these guns are now prohibited. The people that still have them, they just need to apply for this license saying they're grandfathered in, and they can still keep their guns. So all those people that are worried about the government taking their guns, this is a solution to it. You can just grandfather it in, you just cannot buy any more. So in the States, like I said, I'm not quite sure, but if that system is in place down in the States, I think that is good gun control. If they're trying to go further and beyond that, I think that's overreaching. If they would like to start taking guns from people, I do think that's an overreach. If you want to restrict new purchases of a particular gun, I think that's completely okay. And for the people that already have the gun, let them have it. They just have that special license saying that they are allowed to have this prohibited weapon because they owned it before it was banned. I think that makes perfect sense, and I do not think there should be any more restrictions or any more prohibiting of guns, especially if you start doing the confiscating. I think that is a big overreach, and I really hope that it doesn't come to that either in Canada or the States. But right now, I do think that the system in Canada at least is fair. But like I said, for the time being, because stuff has kind of escalated quickly in the last couple of weeks with talks about, wanting to ban more stuff in Canada. So I do want to make sure that I will be able to purchase the restricted or non-restricted gun that I would like to get before any more major changes happen here up in Canada. But anyways, that was just a topic that I wanted to talk about because I have kind of been delving into it a little bit over the past couple of weeks, and I would like to hear from you guys down in the comments. I do know that the majority of people that watch my channel are down in the States, but if you do live up in Canada and you do have some firearms or some experience with some guns and the registration process, I'd like to hear from you. If it's they made it seem easy on this wiki article where they kind of just went through the process, but someone that actually went through it, they might have a different take on it. It might seem very easy on paper, but then the process might be a headache to actually do in real life. And again, like I said earlier in the video, I would like to hear any suggestions that you guys have on what particular firearm would be good to start out with. And I did say 2 would probably be my limit. I'm probably just going to start with 1 and then later on get a different type of gun to go along with that. But yes, like I said, if you do have any suggestions, I'm all ears because this is all fairly new to me, and it's a bit overwhelming on which one would be the best one to get. But anyways, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and hope you come back for the next one. Thank you.